Let's get it. Subscribe to the channel. Settle down. Let me do this. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I go by the name of GODGOTHAM Game, and welcome back to the channel. The second channel.
Oh, y'all look at the thumbnail. Y'all see the title. And today we got How to Beat Anime, and this is how to beat the death game in BTOOOM. BTOOOM, bro. I remember watching some of this, but I haven't seen it all the way. So I'm very curious at how they supposed to like solve this. Fascinating. I'm very fascinated when it comes to stuff like this, especially anime. I like how they break things down pieces by pieces. My brain should be going crazy with that type stuff. I don't know. I find it so fascinating. So yeah, I already know. Link up in the description. Like, comment, subscribe. What I do, man. No more slogan. I ain't the greatest. And the worst. Oh damn! I got it's so fascinating on how he break all this stuff down. It be getting to me. My brain just be going crazy.
If you were kidnapped and forced to play a deadly game where only the most ruthless people survive, what would you do? An entire island full of killers is out to get you, and you'll have to use your gamer knowledge to escape in one piece. I'm here to break down the mistakes made, what you should do, and how to beat the bomb game in BTOOOM. This
BTOOOM, I call it BTOOOM. But now, I saw a little of this now back in the day, but I ain't saw the complete full anime episode of it. But let's get it. Teach me the way.
This teenager's dreams of being the best in the world is going to end up costing him his life. Sakamoto here is one of the best gamers in the whole of Japan.
Yeah,
he plays the video game BTOOOM, a third-person shooter with bombs as the primary means of attack as well as sonar to find enemies around the map. He takes everyone out with ease like the armchair warrior that he is, and figures that he needs to test his skills on a worldwide scale. However, in the real world, Sakamoto is a loser and
yeah, he kind of like, you know, a nobody. Let's go.
And has no life. One day he wakes up in a forest and is confused how he got there. The night before, he was playing BTOOOM as usual and has no memory of leaving his house. He opens his phone to find out that he has no service. That's when he looks at his hand and finds a glass shard embedded inside. Noticing a bag on the ground, he opens it to find his wallet and the items he bought from the convenience store the night before. Sakamoto makes his way through the forest and onto a beachfront. Suddenly, he now realizes that he's a long way from home. He sits down on the beach and finds a strange-looking item in his bag with a timer, throwing it before it hits zero. The item turns out to be a bomb, just like in his video game. At night, he notices another person off in the distance. He waves to the stranger when suddenly...
Yeah, that's the part I wouldn't never do, bro. I wouldn't do that. I'll be someone like hiding in the bushes. You won't see me waving at someone. I'm be out there with a bomb, like a sniper with my bomb. I'm just gonna wait, bro. I ain't gonna attack him, but I'm just gonna watch what he move, watch his movements.
The silhouette comes rushing towards him with killer intent. Sakamoto realizes that the man looks exactly like an enemy in BTOOOM and runs off. Okay, this is insane, because just like if you threw a Call of Duty champion player into real-life basic training, it's pretty obvious that Sakamoto will likely suck at anything physically tough, unless he's a gamer and a gym rat, and based on what we saw, he isn't. And based on this encounter with these crazy bastards, it means that it's pretty clear that we're somehow stuck in a world just like our video game. While we may not be physically up to par with what horrors await us in this world, we do have some advantages that we could use. In a way, we've been training for this day our entire lives, because Sakamoto is not just an avid player of BTOOOM, he is a video game champion, which means that he's the best of the best at something to do with the BTOOOM game, whether that's in his quick reaction times that help him in catching danger when it shows up, or if it's in his planning and strategies.
Yeah, I've been saying strategy called in a strategy game. I like to be, when I play game, I like to have strategy. I like how strategies, like text it and stuff. I like to think before I make my moves. That's just me now.
When it comes to planning out attacks or defending himself and his teammates. And one thing is for sure, is that all of his training in video games means that his cognitive abilities such as spatial navigation, reasoning, memory, and perception must be superior at least to a degree, and means that this at the very least could give him an edge in his problem-solving skills and in what he's about to face in this world. But even before he met that guy, waking up on what looks to be a deserted jungle island means that he should have been way more cautious. He even found that bottle of green tea and some food Luther went through it all like there was no tomorrow.
See, that his downfall. He should have I probably drank a little in the let it be. I ain't finna drink that water. That that ocean. That salt water or whatever.
What he should have done was to minimize his
drink it right here. Yeah, then next time drink it right there. Then, so on, just a little.
Consumption to make his supplies last longer. He even wasted a perfectly good parachute, which you can use for so many things. For one, you can use the canopy, which is the large portion of the parachute. It's made from nylon, and it makes a great waterproof, lightweight tent or a bedroll, or heck, even fishing lines or possibly even a poncho to wear. And this is not even taking into account the suspension lines that connect the harness to the canopy, which also could have been used for countless things. These paracords can usually carry around up to 550 pounds easily and can be used as tow lines or to be able to climb trees or scale walls thanks to its high tensile strength. But somehow, despite Sakamoto being the
I didn't knew that
top G in the video game world, is proving to be rather lame in real life. Unless he stops acting like such an idiot, he's not gonna survive much longer. The man continues chasing him, and this gamer realizes that he needs to fight back or he's going to die. Recalling his BTOOOM expertise, Sakamoto hides from the man and ambushes him, interrogating him on what the hell is really going on. The man laughs in his face and throws a grenade, injuring Sakamoto and forcing him to run away. He surrenders but is attacked again and thrown off of the cliff face. That's when the glass shard begins to glow, just like the sonar radar in BTOOOM. Sakamoto realizes that participants all have different types of grenades, and his happened to have a timer unlike the man attacking him. He decides to run past the enemy and jumps into the water. The man laughs, thinking that he has Sakamoto cornered. Suddenly, Sakamoto's timed bombs blow up and kill the man instantly, officially turning this wannabe badass into a stone-cold killer for real. And he's about
See, that was a good strategy right there. He probably put him right there. He put the bombs right there so he can lure the dude in, and then that thing, that was a good strategy, bro. I like things like that. I like things like that.
to face even deadlier challenges in the coming days. Sometime later, he finds a pretty girl bathing in a waterfall, and Sakamoto chases after her. He runs through the forest and finds a fat guy taking a crap. The fat guy explains that a plane kidnapped them all and took around 30 people to an uninhabited island in the Pacific Ocean with no food or water. He mentions that on the plane, this guy known as the Game Master gave everybody deadly bombs and told them that the only way to leave would be to gather 7 chips from the bodies of 7 people, and the only way to get these chips would be to kill someone to get it. The fat guy then asks to team up, but Sakamoto knows he's hiding something. The man
I wouldn't trust him.
and asks to see his BIMs, but Sakamoto realizes that he might just be playing dumb and refuses to show him his bombs, but agrees to team up. Okay, now we officially know for sure that we're in some type of hellish reality that has us at each other's necks, just like our BTOOOM video game. And this means that the rules of the game apply, and that everybody is officially our enemy. But in this case, until we're better equipped.
I will use him. I will use the big fella. I'm sorry, bro, but hey, yo, either you or me, you're getting used.
Even if it's risky, it is likely to be beneficial for us, at least temporarily, if we team up. And while they could use us as bait or screw us over, this will also allow us to do the same. Teaming up in this instance means that we simply need to be on alert, because in actuality, just like in man's earlier days, since the dawn of time as time goes on, it is likely that all of our competitors here will form factions, aka tribes, because we're social creatures by default, which means teaming up with others will give all the other players here visceral comfort from being in contact and fellowship with one another, and will allow us to defend against other rival groups formed in an effort to pick a winning side and survive, at least to a degree. Because staying in groups will be to the benefit of everyone, at least to a point. This is what biologists call eusociality, which is the highest level of sociality and defined by the division of labors and responsibilities, where members will perform altruistic acts to help benefit the overall group as a whole. If you put a group of people onto an island and force them to kill each other, it is likely that many will begin to form groups, whether we like it or not. Think of us like ants in a colony, because that's just how humans are designed to act. If we don't join this guy and start forming our own tribe, others will anyways, until we're eventually outnumbered and outgunned. In this instance, the
just use him. Like I said, I will use him. Temporary though.
enemy of our enemy is our friend, but I
Yeah.
still wouldn't trust this guy with showing him my bombs, because it's always good to have some tricks up my sleeve. We still don't know what's in store for us. They climb a nearby hill to see a helicopter dropping off food rations and head to one of the ration drop sites. Sakamoto arrives to see this lady in the distance who calls dibs. Then suddenly a bomb detonates from below and blows her shit up. Sunglasses Man here picks the lady up and takes her
Sunglasses
chip,
Man.
bombs, and food before running away. Shocked, Sakamoto notices another ration off in the distance, and the two decide to head over there. On the way, the two guys are shocked to see this crazy-looking kid named Kosuke next to a dead corpse. Not only that, the kid didn't pop up on the radar, which makes
He must got like some type of invisible thing. I ain't saw the rest of it, didn't I?
Sakamoto realized that it only picks up people who are moving. The crew decides to run away, but Kosuke is determined to find them and kill them. While running, the fat guy trips like a chump and sprains his ankle. Oh, boo-hoo. He tells Sakamoto to leave him behind, but
See, I don't want to leave him behind. Leave him behind. I still need him. That stuff. He's my little bait.
the kid decides to lure Kosuke away and let the fat guy escape. Sakamoto uses his sonar to figure out the boy's location and realizes that he needs to run towards him to escape his attack. Okay, this is insane, and while what Sakamoto did was sweet as all get out, it was so dumb. Because
Yeah, I wouldn't let him. Like I said, I wouldn't let him. No, no. I'm gonna have to keep him just to keep him for a little bit. I'm just saying, bro.
he could have used this opportunity to use the fat guy's bait and take down Kosuke. Now, I know what I said earlier about forming tribes, but this
Yeah.
was low-key the real reason why we kept the fat guy around, to use him as bait, because
Yeah.
let's face it, this guy is useless and served no real purpose to us other than moral support or as bait or distraction. Sakamoto
I haven't saw the full anime of this, so
should have made lemonade out of the situation and used the fat guy, but instead he chose to have a heart. Also, we've seen how much of a glutton this fat guy is from the start, and we're in a survival situation. Keeping him around to a degree is smart. In the long term, this guy will finish our supplies if we let him. If
yeah. See, I can't have him, bro. Can't have him. I be getting too mad. I'm gonna have to bomb his ass.
anything, I would have tried to get the best of both worlds, and would have used the fat guy's bait but kill Kosuke before he got onto our fat friend. This way we could have still used him in some instances of scavenging for drop points for supplies, because after seeing that lady get blown to all hell, he'll honestly serve a really significant purpose, us using him as a meat shield for us to get more supplies. Suddenly they cross each other's paths, and Kosuke tosses a big fatty as they land. Sakamoto then realizes that this boy is a high-level BTOOOM player, and he continues evading Kosuke until the crazy kid throws an implosion bomb, which lands
Have a
on
bomb
his
in there.
bag. Suddenly, Sakamoto quickly throws the bag into the air as it turns into dust. The kid baits Sakamoto into revealing his location and throws another grenade his way. Injured, he walks out of hiding
He got a cool bomb, bro, that can like suck things up.
in a daze and looks to the sky. Kosuke finds him and throws one more grenade to finish the job, but that's when Sakamoto whips out a bag that swallows the grenade whole. He runs off and out of the crazy kid's sight, ambushing him from behind with a timer grenade. The kid tries using the sonar to find him, but realizes that Sakamoto is canceling it out by activating his sonar at the exact same time. He catches Kosuke off
Let's synchronize that together.
guard and hits him with a grenade, severely injuring the young kid. Sometime later, they spot a body floating in a nearby waterfall. The man is dead and has no pants. Sakamoto gets ready to leave in case of an enemy attack, but the fat guy tells him that his leg is still injured and can't walk. Sakamoto decides to check out what's going on above the waterfall and finds another corpse in the forest. He decides to use his sonar to get a hint of where the enemy could be and spots this pretty lady from before standing on top of a cliff. Suddenly, she throws a grenade off in the wrong direction, but Sakamoto quickly realizes that this is a corrosive gas grenade, meaning it's incredibly toxic. Okay, this is
Yeah, you gotta get away from that. I probably want her bombs. Now I saw the part I left off when she was getting. I think she was the one that was getting about to get, I think it's a big guy about to get ready to get that thing on. What you know?
really, really bad. This weapon is a BTOOOM classic and produces a cloud of highly corrosive gas, which literally disintegrates organic matter in seconds. This
I like that bomb right there, man.
basically means that this thing will melt the weeb skin right off of you and has a lethal radius of between 50 to 100 meters, which means that even if this girl threw the grenade in the wrong direction,
it's
they
still-
need to get out of there
yeah.
now, because that shit will still
Yeah, it's still gonna spread, man.
them. And while Sakamoto could likely overpower this girl one-on-one, she's packing, which means that he needs to keep his guard up and try to outsmart her until he can disarm her. Now this situation has proven to us that we can't kill this girl yet, because in actuality,
I'll make her join the team. I will make her join the team.
we need her. Our fat teammate is already proving to be way more trouble than he's worth. And with his legs still injured, he's not even good enough to use as bait, since he can't even move. This means that we're officially hiring, and this girl is the perfect candidate that we could use for our business. And speaking of business, this grenade is one that we still have yet to get our fat, greasy paws on. And if she refuses to join us, we could just kill her and steal her grenade stash. I'd make finding more of these class of grenades my #1.
I wasn't trying to. Well, yeah, I mean, we gotta do what we gotta do, bro. Cause we gotta get them stones.
Priority from here on out. Sakamoto runs from the gas and finds himself staring the girl right in the face. He tries to calm her down by asking her to team up, but she freaks out and throws a grenade at him. He manages to run through the cloud of smoke and swipes her grenade, but she knocks him over with a stun gun. However, Sakamoto flips the stun gun back onto her, knocking her out. That night, her and the two guys share a meal together, and they explain to her that they're trustworthy people. She tells them that there's no point of even beating the death game, since someone close to them in the real world is responsible for their kidnapping. That's when they realize they've been abandoned by their friends and family, but they're interrupted when they hear something in the forest. Suddenly, giant lizards appear from the shadows. The crew try fetching their stolen bombs, but soon find out that the bombs Kosuke gave them aren't working. Suddenly, someone throws a bomb onto the fat guy's leg and badly injures it. They continue making their way through the swamp, when suddenly, the Komodo dragons reappear and attack them. Sakamoto loses sight of the fat guy, ending up in a secluded part of the forest with absolutely no supplies. He realizes that the fat guy may have just ditched him and screams out in anger. That's when the Komodo dragon attacks again, and a bomb comes up out of nowhere with the fat guy showing up to save.
I thought he gonna betray us. You don't betray me, I betray you. But I might need him. The guy.
The day. They continue through the forest, feeling the sea breeze and getting closer to their destination. The crew finds themselves at a ladder and use a bit of teamwork to bring the girl up with them. However, the ladder breaks under their weight and they hear the Komodo dragons coming back. Oh, now we have Komodo dragons chasing us.
I believe because of the blood.
That's great. This reminds me whenever I hear Dom whining about playing Far Cry 3, because just like those damn lizard bastards on Voss's Rook Island, these Komodo dragons are no joke. These things can grow to be over 3 meters long and
what the thing is, you gotta zigzag. You gotta zigzag like you know, get away from them. I guess that's what they say. Like zigzag on their butt or whatever.
Possess razor sharp teeth and
and they got a little poison. Don't they got like some like poison? You know, or whatever.
Poisonous saliva that can kill a person within hours after a bite. These guys are so badass that they legit have no natural predators in their native habitat, which means that these guys are
they'll eat anything.
At the top of their food chain. These things move quicker than Al, aka Bobcat as we call him. These things usually pick their prey apart when it's solo and not in a group. But with an army of lizards like these after 3 humans makes me think that these guys are way hungrier for food than us. Now, one of the most effective things we could do is to run away and keep running, since attacking it head on with just our fists is a big fat no-no, and we don't want to.
They got shield. They bodies got like armor shield or whatever.
Waste our bombs, and the fact that these things are capable of only short bursts of explosive energy, up to 21 kilometers per hour, meaning running away from them in a zigzag pattern will be one of the best moves to escape these things.
Zigzag. Don't just go straight, bro. Zigzag on them.
Because these things can really only run in a straight-like pattern, and utilizing the trees around us while seemingly safe is the exact opposite of where we want to go. Because while older Komodos can't really climb such things well, young dragons may be nesting within the trees. Now, because these dragons have followed us so far makes me think that something is driving them to us. Because naturally, Komodo dragons only attack if they are threatened, are provoked, or smell blood. And this last part is where
they smell his blood. They smell the big guy blood. What it is.
Think we have a serious problem, because our friend over here is a drippin' attraction for these blood-seeking bastards, and he's the reason most likely that these things
get rid of them.
Are continuing to follow us. This means that we need to put an end to this now and give the people, or this lizard, what they want. This dude right here, cause to them, he's looking like a thick snack. If I was Sakamoto, I'd grab a nice rock and smash this guy's skull in, leaving him to the lizards while we find a way up this rusty piece of ladder. Because
Yeah, what it is. Hey, survive to the finish.
Let's be honest, we're outnumbered, outgunned, and our only 2 teammates are this dude and this chick. And this dude's leg is not getting fixed anytime soon, at least not by us. And while we could use this guy's strength, his injury makes him a liability. And also, let's be honest, if you were a rambunctious teenager gamer nerd national champion, who would you really want to save? Don't lie. Sakamoto climbs up the ladder, making the fat guy think that he's leaving the unconscious girl for dead, acting.
Honestly, what I really want to say, well, in that type situation, I probably had to say I want to say the big fella, but right now he's useless. And the girl, she got like all the bombs and all that other stuff. So, and plus I like her bomb that she can throw it and it spread. So yeah, she definitely on the team.
Quickly, Sakamoto throws a corrosive gas grenade at the dragon's location. The fat guy is confused by how he managed to use the girl's bombs, but Sakamoto says that he used the girl's fingers to touch the button. He tells him that they're safe from the corrosive gas as well because of the sea breeze. That morning, they all wake up safe and sound, but something is wrong with fat guy. Suddenly, he passes out while crying out in pain from his injured leg. They fetch some medicine for the man, pouring it onto his leg, causing him to pass out again from the shock. Later, Sakamoto confronts the mysterious girl about how she's managed to retrieve all of her supplies. He knows that she's killed a lot of people and would only need to kill him and Fat Guy to gather the right amount of shards to leave the island. Suddenly, they feel someone use the sonar, and the girl tells him that she'll leave the crew to go her own way. Sakamoto tells her to not leave and insists that he'll act as a decoy to fight the incoming enemy. My, how nice of him. He goes to the forest and scans to find out if the enemy is near. That's when the mystery man attacks, forcing Sakamoto to run off the cliffside. He tries convincing the bandana man to join his crew, but a timer bomb lands next to him and catches Sakamoto off guard. The men hold him hostage, but Sakamoto manages to taser Mr. Overalls here and runs away. He goes back to the hideout, but bandana man here follows and demands that they hand back his supplies. The fat guy tries attacking him from behind, but gets his fingers chopped off in the
Well, at least he tried, man.
process. Sakamoto rushes towards him, but Bandana Man easily kicks him off of the building. When he climbs back up, he sees the fat guy writhing about in pain, and the pretty girl is nowhere to be found. Noticing her phone on the ground, he takes a look at her wallpaper and notices a cosplay similar to his virtual wife in BTOOOM, Himiko. Sakamoto finds himself outside of the enemy hideout, and Bandana Man knows exactly where he's going to enter. He hides behind a door and springs out to see Mr. Overalls instead. On the roof, Sakamoto makes his entrance and sneaks into the building. He opens this door, which is concealing a hidden bomb, and manages to catch it, turning it off and saving himself from certain
Good.
death. Okay, we all just saw how easy it was for Bandana Man to take us out. This military-style trap just proved to us how prepared our enemy is.
Rambo.
However, we know a BIM bomb becomes the property of whoever disables it, and we've only got one shot to use it. Finding the girl with our radar shouldn't be too much of an issue. However, dealing with Bandana Man is the problem, because even if we escape, we won't get very far. But in every plate of armor, there is always a chink that we could exploit, and his is Mr. Overalls. I would work on taking him out, since he is the easiest to handle. Subduing Mr. Overalls will give us access to his BIM bombs. I would knock him out and tie him up, using the shoelaces in our shoes. I'd then use his hands to give us access to his bombs. If that plan doesn't work, once he wakes up, I'd threaten him, saying we'll slice off one digit off of his finger and keep going until we reach the knuckle by using the makeshift knife that we made beforehand from the
Yeah, I couldn't even think of all that right down there.
broken glass in those windows from earlier. I'd tell him that we'll keep going onto each finger until he's willing to cooperate. I would force him to transfer ownership of his bombs to us by making him activate his bombs one at a time and setting them with the max amount of time till the bomb goes off. Doing this for each one. I would then manually disarm each one before the countdown expires, allowing me to take control, and this process would take a few minutes. Since this could take a bit, I would subdue him near a room with only one exit facing opposite of us, and perhaps a window facing outward, with a ledge to grab onto on the outskirts of that ledge should we need to escape. This will provide us with one entrance to pay attention to while we get a hold of Mr. Overall's bombs should Mr. Bandana Man show up midway, and having access to the windows as a means of escape is super necessary in case shit hits the fan. And once we have all of Mr. Overall's bombs, we'll have an edge. But I'm not going near Bandana Man in close quarters. Once we have more than enough imps, we'll be able to take out Bandana Man with ease. Walking inside the room, he finds the girl tied up on a bed. Sakamoto frees her and asks if she happened to play the character of Himiko in BTOOOM. She says no, but Sakamoto decides to call her by the name anyway. Meanwhile, the bad guy realizes that their hostage has just been taken away. Mr. Overalls runs after them, seeing glimpses of Sakamoto trying to escape. Suddenly, the bad guy runs into a trap set up by Sakamoto, but Bandana Man here has Himiko in his grip. Bandana Man challenges Sakamoto to a fistfight, but he's not interested. Sakamoto
Tell him I wouldn't even try to fight him, bro. That's like Rambo. I would not fight this guy. I would probably like use like the what you call it as my advantage. That whole building, like use type of things in there, bro.
runs out of cover, grabbing a knife, trying to stab the man. He's pushed away and the man pins him to the ground. Himiko jumps on him, but is instantly thrown off. That's when Bandana Man realizes that she's triggered a gas bomb attached to his chest. The two run off and climb out of the building, leaving Bandana Man for dead. That night, they decide to rest up in the enemy's hideout before meeting up with the fat guy. When they're sleeping, Himiko notices a ghost-like figure staring at her. She freaks out and is certain that it wasn't her imagination. Sakamoto takes her to look for the ghost and finds a strange room that looks lived. Suddenly, a hatchet-wielding woman attacks him from behind, but Sakamoto knocks her out and realizes that she's missing an arm. When the ghost lady wakes up, she tells Himiko here to not trust men, but she tells that Sakamoto is different. The ghost lady explains that she was a nurse in her past life and tampered with some medical records to protect an unlawful doctor. However, the doctor betrayed her and put the blame onto the ghost lady. She continues by saying that both her and the doctor were sent to the island, making it to the very end of the game together. When the time came to leave, the doctor betrayed.
Oh, y'all can say, yeah, he betrayed her then. Yeah, and that's probably how she lost that arm, that hand.
Her one final time, blowing off her arm and leaving the ghost lady for dead. She tells them that once someone gathers the right amount of shards, a helicopter lands and takes them away to safety. Sakamoto and Himiko discuss outside the possibility of hijacking one when this happens. But Himiko here is hiding a very important detail. Okay, this ghost lady is batshit crazy and looks the part to back it up, but she just told us a valuable piece of info, probably the most important thing that we've ever received, because we already knew that we needed a certain amount of crystals to leave the island, but now we know the exact method by which they'll rescue us. And with this, we can use it to prepare ourselves for when we get rescued. The island seems to have characteristics of what is known as an oceanic island, aka a volcanic island. This type of island is formed by eruptions of volcanoes on the ocean floor, and this island flora consists of thousands of tropical trees, and that means that there's enough cover for us to be able to spot a helicopter approaching without us being spotted. However, at this point, we don't know for sure if the metric by which the game master decides who is to be rescued is solely based on the bioindicators placed within our body.
Who is the master behind it though, man? The game master, bro. He'll be the once I get off that, if I get off that island, he the first one going after, bro. I'm going to annihilate him.
Bodies, or if that is supplemented by surveillance scattered throughout the island, because it is very likely that there are cameras placed everywhere, which means we won't be able to do anything suspicious yet to outsmart them. For now, we should continue our mission with killing enough people to warrant the game master sending a rescue helicopter. However, knowing this, I would have the gang prepare for when that time comes. As of now, it seems highly inefficient that the only way this game rescues its members is by helicopter, because who's to say that would stop other members from trying to take advantage of this, and perhaps even trying to ambush the helicopter when it arrives. I would try and make a ghost lady recall every small detail of her story first, noting what gear and security detail that the helicopter had on them when they arrived, including any weapons, as well as the location of where it landed when it came to rescue them, whether that was in the exact location of where they were or nearby at a certain drop point, more favorable to a landing helicopter, because these details will matter and will allow us to better prepare for when we have enough crystals to warrant a rescue team coming for us, and knowing how to prepare for it will allow us to figure out a way to take advantage of it. When they arrive back at the old hideout, they find that the fat guy is being treated by a mystery man. He tells them that he's a doctor and that he doesn't want to take part in the death game. Sakamoto checks his bombs and sees that he's not even used it even once. They forgive him for being suspicious and agree to work.
I still want to let my guard down bro. I'm just saying, I'll hold on to his bombs and stuff. I don't care.
together. Yeah, great move. That's when they notice a supply drop nearby and head out to go fetch supplies. Sakamoto runs towards it and runs into Sunglasses Guy once again. They throw bombs at each other and Sakamoto is injured in the blast. He notices Sunglasses Guy throw a corrosive gas grenade at the doctor and tells him to run. Sakamoto manages to catch the trunk of food and runs away before being trapped by a flame bomb. Sunglasses Guy tackles him and takes the trunk before Sakamoto's blown off of the cliff and into the ocean. He swims behind a rock, noticing another shady man coming out of the forest. The man finds the trunk of food and goes over to steal it. Suddenly, a trap grenade activates and kills him on the spot. Sunglasses Guy takes the trunk, but Sakamoto surprises him from behind, threatening to blow him up. The guy surrenders, putting all of his belongings onto the ground. Sakamoto knows this guy is bluffing, but he doesn't know what he's up to, and tells him to turn around, but he doesn't. But Sakamoto thinks his buddies are close by and ignores this. When he walks over to the trunk, Sunglasses Guy activates a remote bomb. However, Sakamoto manages to avoid being blown up. Okay, it's one thing to not know what someone is capable of in a place like this, but this kid clearly knew what Sunglasses Guy was capable of, since he literally saw him do some crazy shit before. Sunglasses Guy isn't your average player. He is cunning and is prone to using traps to get his way, as we saw earlier. Sakamoto had no excuses and should not have rushed to get his loot. This almost cost him his life, and having him back away from his loot by itself was not enough to ensure that he didn't have any dirty tricks up his sleeve.
I would have turn around. See, I want to see your mouth. Pause.
Sakamoto could have been a little less stupid and at the very least could have ordered Sunglasses Guy to turn around and give us a spin. Seriously, this would have taken 2 seconds, and judging from the fact that the detonator was in this guy's mouth means that this was a rookie mistake on Sakamoto's part, especially since Sunglasses Guy ignored Sakamoto when he told him to turn around, which I don't know about you, but that would be a major red flag. Sunglasses Guy walks off into the forest and Kosuke reappears, telling him that he took all of the supplies and the whole thing was a failure. Back at the hideout, they try feeding the fat guy whatever food they have left, but the doctor mentions that they need to get rid of the lizard poison within him or he'll die. Sakamoto and Himiko tell the doc that they know a spot to find medicine where Ghost Lady was staying, and once there, the doctor finds and fills a trunk full of medical goodies, giving it to Sakamoto to keep. But just then, Himiko comes running and telling him that there's a bomb inside that trunk right before it goes off. This doc is a full-on baddie and threatens to kill Himiko, but that's when Ghost Lady appears and stabs him. She then takes Himiko away, and they find out that the doc has planted bombs all over the building. Just then, the doc comes back injured as hell, and she throws a bomb at him, but not before he activates another bomb that flings her off of the building. He goes back inside to take out Himiko, when a grenade he throws bounces off of her boobs. Suddenly, Sakamoto comes back from the dead and chases him down, and then he activates another remote bomb and accidentally injures himself and falls to the ground. The Ghost Lady tells the young ones to step aside, but she doesn't have the guts to finish the job. With the medicine acquired and the older couple reunited under strange circumstances, Sakamoto and Himiko decide to go back to the old hideout. That's when he hears something strange in the distance. A homing bomb suddenly chases him around, brutally injuring his leg. The two instantly realize that the fat guy has finally betrayed them. They hear another homing bomb come their way, and Himiko grabs it, turning it off before it explodes. They try to chase him down, but the fat guy thinks they're out for revenge. Sakamoto screams out that he wants to apologize, but that's when the fat guy is cornered by a group of lizards. He decides to detonate the bomb on himself to take out the reptiles, leaving Sakamoto and Himiko all by themselves. That night, Himiko tells him to kill her. If he does, he'll have enough shards to beat the game and leave the island. But Sakamoto refuses, like the horned-up good boy that he is, telling her that he'll only leave the island once they both have enough shards, ending this adventure just like the film Predators, with them no closer to getting home and more shit about to head their way.
Howdy do everybody, Griffin here from HowToBeatAnime. What did you think about BTOOOM? What did you like about it?
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, man. Hey, yo, that's BTOOOM, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'll take the little crystals and let it be, man. Every man for himself for now, so you already know it. That's just me, man. I'll just play with them. I'm gonna train them, man. Forget that legal bastards. Look how much